Hello and welcome to the Fit News Podcast. I'm your host, Jen Shaver. Joining me today is a very special guest. Cat Donofrio is just passionate about guiding women in their 40s to ditch diet mentality and truly live the healthy, balanced lives they deserve. She helps her clients rediscover the vibrant, healthy woman hiding beneath that tired, stressed out, emotionally drained uniform they've been wearing for years. As a certified menopause coaching specialist, Kat's focus is on guiding women on the journey from perimenopause through postmenopause to thrive in their second half. She is a certified nutrition coach, aspiring herbalist, and master health and wellness coach. Her personal love of yoga led her to becoming a YTT 200 yoga instructor, who's also trained in mindfulness-based stress reduction and meditation teaching. She and her husband, Pete, live in Columbus, Ohio, with their two fur babies, Pedro and Fly. In her spare time, she enjoys spending time with them, being outdoors, hiking and kayaking, as well as traveling around the US. All right, so that whole introduction, now you all know why I'm so excited to have Kat on today, because we have a lot to chat about. So I want to share. Kat and I met probably through a friend through Facebook, our paths crossed, and then we finally connected in real life a few weeks ago to, of course, go on a walk out in nature. And as we started walking and talking, I looked at her and I said, we need to stop talking because this all needs to be recorded. It needs to be on the podcast. And so here we are, finally, the day has come.
Yes, absolutely. I was so glad when you said that because it's like we are just spouting off pure gold here, and
Yeah,
nobody hears it except us and the birds.
right. Exactly. Yeah, we decided on a few topics that we really wanted to touch on because they are things that we have heard from our clients over and over and over again, meaning that, these are pretty much things that all women are struggling with or dealing with or have dealt with. I want to get the big one out of the way first. So I want to talk about the doctor situation that many of us have run into, right? And whether that is, we go to the doctor, go in for that yearly checkup, and we're not bashing doctors. That's not what we're about to do.
Not at all.
But we want women to understand that they're not alone when they do go into that doctor's office and how to handle it and what their options are. So many women go to their doctor and they say, doctor, hey, I haven't been feeling myself, right? Maybe I've gained weight or a variety of other things, right? And they are told many different things, such as, you need an antidepressant. You just need to eat less. What other things have you heard, Kat?
Definitely the eat less, exercise more.
Yeah.
Um, that's just how it is because you're getting older.
Well, that's
So
the best one,
suck it
right?
up, buttercup.
Yep. Yep.
Um, yeah, and then the antidepressant one, yeah, it's like I'm not really sure what's wrong, but here, let's give you an antidepressant to, try to bring your mood up. Well, you know, it's either just flat out misinformation or putting band-aids on symptoms as opposed to figuring out the root cause.
Mhm.
Um, so it's all just temporary.
Yeah. 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 And, then oftentimes a woman leaves doctor's office and she's either got a prescription, as we said, it's prescription in hand, or she feels defeated because of what the doctor has said, whether it is, oh, just suck it up. That's how it goes. Or, oh, just eat less and move more, right? And maybe she had already been doing that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, my doctor, as an example, and my doctor is a female in
Mhm.
her 40s.
Yeah.
So, she's kind of in that age range too. And, I've been going for the last literally like 4 or 5 years at least. I'm going in and my own weight just does not fluctuate. It's like
Mhm.
within 2 pounds, it's exactly the same and it's not where I want it to be.
Mhm.
Um, and I've talked to her about it doesn't matter if I like really strict and try to eat well, or I just say screw it and just eat whatever,
Mhm.
working out, not working out. But again, just this last exam, it was, well, the only way, this is just how it is because you're getting older. And the only way that you're going to be able to lose weight is to eat less than 1,200 calories a day and work out 5 days a week.
Oh, stop.
Yes,
Only a child,
that was
maybe,
my
not even.
no
No one should be doing the whole 1,200.
12
Yeah,
less than
let's go with
1,200
that.
calories. It's like, oh my goodness. And this is a medical doctor. And again, we're not necessarily bashing doctors. I mean,
No,
they
no.
have they have their expertise
Hmm.
that they're very good in, but when it
Right.
comes to um, nutrition and in particular women's health as we
Hmm.
get to mid-age and middle age and beyond,
Right.
they're not taught how to deal with the particular issues that we have.
Right. 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 Because there really is a holistic approach to everything that is going on, because it's not just as simple. And I have that we are going to talk about calories in, calories out. So I want to save that conversation for later. But it's not just that simple, because there are so many other things that are going on with our bodies in terms of hormonal changes, in terms of, stress, in
Yeah.
terms of our gut imbalances. So it's not just as simple as saying, go move some more, sweetheart, and don't eat as much, because
Right.
that really can that can be very detrimental, particularly for a midlife women. And I want to go into that. That kind of leads me into our next topic that I wanted to talk about, which was weight loss and fat loss, because it is something that we have to really take into consideration as midlife women, this idea of weight loss and fat loss, and just looking at the scale.
Right. Yes, absolutely. Because when you're looking at the scale and you're like, oh, I just want to lose weight.
Mhm.
And so you do different things to try to bring that scale number down. But a lot of times, what we end up losing is muscle when we're losing weight. And
Mhm.
that's exactly the opposite of what we want to do. We want to be building
Yeah,
more muscle and
yeah,
losing more fat. Um, you know, the fat take as many, doesn't take as much effort to maintain
hmm,
as muscle
right,
does. Um, so, we go back to the old, oh, even if we're eating and moving the same in our, let's say, 50s as we were in our 20s, but our bodies aren't reacting the same. Our bodies are starting to add pounds and
right,
add fat
hmm,
where it didn't in our 20s. We're like, I'm doing the same thing. Why is it not working anymore?
yeah,
Well, our bodies are changing. And you mentioned the whole hormone thing. And yeah, it's harder as we get older and we stop producing testosterone as much to maintain the muscle mass.
right,
And the muscle
right,
mass is what helps us burn more fuel and burn more
hmm,
fat.
yep,
So yeah, so it's makes it very, very difficult
right,
to just look at the number on the scale because there's so much that goes into that number.
right, right. And the last thing, I mean, we're already losing muscle at a rapid rate anyway. So if our goal, is just that number on the scale, and we're not really paying attention to what else we're doing, and then we are compounding that loss, that muscle loss, by saying, I want to lose weight, when really that weight is muscle, we're not really doing ourselves any favors, because the more
Mhm.
muscle we have, the better off we are.
Yeah, I
In
mean,
other
we
words,
could very well becoming less healthy by
right.
taking those actions, right?
Exactly. Exactly. So I think it's important, we're not saying that, if if you are overweight, you shouldn't lose weight or whatever. I think we want people to understand that there's more to weight loss, that we really want to focus, especially once we hit midlife, on fat loss and building muscle. And when we do that, the scale might not necessarily change. Our body composition can change dramatically.
Absolutely.
But that number on the scale, it might not change. And just because it might read higher now than it did 10, 15, 20 years ago, that might not necessarily be a bad thing, provided that what you're doing is putting on muscle. And we're also not saying that just because you lift weights, you're going to gain weight and blah, 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 blah. Also not what we're saying. So ladies, do not be afraid to pick up those weights.
And if you are, well, fine, start with body weight.
Right.
There's a lot you can do with body weight exercises.
Right.
That can definitely firm and tone and build up muscle
Right.
without getting that bulky muscular look.
Right. Right. Which the chances of getting that are really slim to none.
They are.
I mean,
that
let's
takes
just put that out there.
a lot of effort.
I mean, you got to be in that gym a lot.
Yes, you do. And
lot.
nobody has time for that.
No. I mean, so that's just it. But, I think what we're talking about is fat loss, right? In order to, create some muscle, because we know that fat loss is closely associated with improvements in other health markers, right? And a reduced risk in chronic diseases. Heart disease and diabetes are on the rise, right? So if we want, to ward those off, we have got to build some muscle and not be worried, and be more concerned with building that muscle than we are with that number on the scale, quite frankly.
Right.
I mean, I think, that should be your main goal, is building muscle.
Well, and another statistic I've read is that 70% of hospitalizations in older adults is a result of falls.
Yep.
And a lot of that is because as we age, if we're not keeping our muscle mass, we become more frail. We become more susceptible to falls and breaking bones as well. And, it's.
And that's another advantage of strength training, is it helps to protect your bone density, the strength of your bones. So, if I'm protecting my muscle strength and my bone strength with this activity, sign me up, right?
Absolutely. Oh my goodness, yes.
All right, let's keep going on that. Another area that's kind of similar, because we often hear about, I want to tone my thighs. I want to tone my arms, or tone this area, right?
I want six-pack abs.
Yes. But, we know that spot reduction training is not a thing. So let's go down that driveway.
Okay, let's do. Yeah, spot reduction. I mean, unless you're getting liposuction,
right?
There's no way to really, target a specific area to lose weight. That's just not how our body functions, as far as, using our fat stores to create energy to move. It's going to get it from anywhere. I mean, you might be working, putting the effort into a certain part of your body, but the energy is going to come from pretty much anywhere in your body. Right. So, you're going to build, if you focus on a particular area, you're going to build more muscle in that area. That's why we used to always joke about the guys that would go into the gym and they would always just work their upper bodies, right? And then they'd have these spindly little legs because they, they were strong and they had lots of muscle, but it was all from the waist up. So you can build more muscle in the areas that you focus on, but you're not necessarily going to lose more fat. You're just going to build muscle on top of the fat.
Yep. Yeah. Because, the way that our bodies store and lose fat is, determined by genetics, and the way that we lose it it doesn't say, oh, hey, I'm just gonna pick today, I'm gonna lose more in my abdomen and I'm gonna, lose more over here. It's not up to it
Right.
doesn't discriminate.
It really doesn't. No.
I mean, the whole idea though is that if you want those muscles to show or pop or look toned, then that is when we do have to, focus on the strength training, be eating our protein, and,
Right.
really clean up our diet, because that's what helps. And using the word diet as a noun, not a verb,
Right.
um,
Yes.
making sure that what we're fueling our body with is appropriate to our goals.
Yeah,
And
completely
yeah,
agree.
yeah. Um, so let's go there, because I want to talk some more about that, since I brought the word diet up and we had kind of touched on the 1,200 calories a day, and
Hmm.
which, okay, I don't recommend, and neither do you. And
No, no. Matter of fact, I think the last time I ate that little, I was in high school and I ended up with mono. So
yeah, yeah. Well,
definitely
that's
don't
just it. I
advise it.
think it just puts you at risk for additional problems, down
Hmm.
the road, because you're not, especially again, going back to if you are a midlife woman and you're not eating enough, usually the first thing to go for midlife women is the protein. And so when you take that
Right.
protein out of the equation, hey, guess what else is running out the door after you kick protein out the door? Well, that muscle is following closely behind. So
Hmm.
you're not doing yourself any favors by not eating enough protein. And, if a woman says, well, I want to lose weight, well, I mean, the first thing that you and I both recommend is, well, let's make sure you're getting your protein in, because if you're getting your protein in, then you're going to feel fuller. You're going to
Right.
feel fuller longer, and you are going to be able to go into a calorie deficit, not a, huge calorie deficit where it takes you that
Right.
low, because that is not, healthy by any means. But a sustainable calorie deficit to work on that fat loss, which we talked about earlier, which is going
Hmm.
to help you to see your muscles, if that's, what you're going for, right?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Um,
a lot of it has to do, and you kind of touched on, is the quality of the calories.
right.
Like because when I work with clients, I don't talk calories.
No,
I don't have them
no,
count calories. I don't,
no, I don't either.
because you can eat a meal that's 300 calories of, very nutrient dense, you know, whole food,
Mhm.
minimally processed, or
Right.
you can eat the same amount of calories in high fat fast food
Yeah.
kind of meal. And okay, great, you check off the same number of calories for that day,
Yep.
but the quality of the nutrients,
Exactly.
the balance of the macronutrients between your proteins and fats and carbs
Yeah.
is totally out of whack.
Yep.
And it's not going to be processed the same in your body.
Right. Right. So I think that's, you know, something that people need to think about, that, that's why the calories and just focusing on the number of calories doesn't necessarily always work, because
Right.
if you are not eating the right foods and you're just filling those calories with, um, you know, less nutritionally valuable calories, then, you're not really doing your body any favors. And you're
Right.
probably feeling hungry,
Hmm.
even more hungry,
Right.
because if it's less nutritionally dense, then you're probably not getting, again, we go back to that protein and the fiber, right? And you're
Yeah.
probably not eating enough of those two things. And so, you're ending up hungry all the time. And then you
Hmm.
just give up because of the way you feel.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Because when we're hungry, that's our body signal that it's craving nutrients.
Right.
If we throw, calories in the form of food that's not nutrient dense at it, it's still, the body's still starving for those nutrients that it was asking
Right.
for.
Right.
We're not giving it what it really wants.
Right. Yep. The body knows
It
what it
absolutely
wants and what
does.
it needs. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
need to listen to it more. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Let's go into a little bit of the calories in versus calories out idea, because this is kind of like a tricky myth for midlife women.
hmm Yeah, it certainly is. And the whole calories in, calories out equation is a very, very oversimplified
Right.
example of what the real concept is of the energy balance
Yes.
and the energy in versus the energy out, which
Mhm.
is calories are a component of it,
Mhm.
but there's so much more around that. It's
Right.
it's also, the specific, as we were just talking about, the
Mhm.
specific food consumed,
Right.
how nutrient dense is it, how much protein is in it. There's psychological factors, even stress affects,
Yeah.
how we process and how hungry we are. Um, our hormones affect it. Um,
The amount of muscle we
even
have.
the amount of muscle we have. Yeah, right.
Right.
It's
Because
like
the less muscle we have, the fewer calories we burn at rest.
exactly. It's that whole NEAT,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
non-exercise
Hmm.
activity calories
Yeah.
that we burn.
Hmm.
Yeah, if you don't have a lot of muscle, you're going to burn less of those
Hmm.
during those down periods. So yeah, there's so much more to that whole equation, and it's not an easy concept to understand.
Right.
So I think over the years, fitness professionals and doctors, et cetera, have just like almost kind of dumbed it down to just say, oh, just, track your calories in and calories out,
Yeah.
because that's an easier thing for the average person to understand,
Hmm.
but it's not really a solution to the problem.
Right. Right. Yeah. And we are also not saying that weight loss has to be complicated.
Right.
We're
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
It's, a lot of it is just being mindful
Yep.
of what you're eating, when
Hmm.
you're eating, how much you're eating,
Yeah.
and just taking that little bit of extra time to look at, okay, first of all, am I really hungry?
Yeah.
Because, one of the things I learned a few years ago is that, oh, when we think we're hungry, a lot of times we're really thirsty.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're really
Right.
getting dehydrated, and then that's a symptom of dehydration.
Right.
So try drinking a glass of water first, see if you're
Hmm.
still hungry.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, we know that um, chronic dehydration is really prevalent for many people. When I talk
Hmm
with a lot of my clients, and I say, "Well, how much water are you drinking a day?" Well, and when I have them, just kind of track and see how much they are drinking, they are surprised at how little they are drinking, and then they're surprised at how much different they feel when they do get enough water.
Right. And that's it's not as, I won't say it's easy, but it is a
No,
simple
simple. Right.
change.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And so I think that goes to our point that none of this, we're not saying any of this is easy, but there are simple things that you can implement throughout your
Mhm.
day that will make an impact. And drinking water happens to be one of them.
Absolutely. Yes.
All
As I
right.
take my own sip of water.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I got one more for today because I have a feeling that we have to do part two. So
Okay. We can do that.
I think we need a part two. So let's do one more for today.
Okay.
And let's focus on, now this one is near and dear to both of our hearts. We both love this one. You ready?
I'm ready.
Calories burned in a workout. Oh, this workout burns 500 calories.
I don't know anyone who does any average midlife woman at least who burns 500 calories in any workout.
Right. Right.
I mean, it's the whole, and that's the one thing too, when people talk about, wanting to lose weight and get in shape and everything. And it's like, I hear so often, it's like, oh, but I'm trying to work out more. And it's like, that's absolutely a good thing to do.
Right.
But you work out to build muscle, to get stronger, to protect your bone density. You
Right.
don't work out to lose weight.
Yep.
Honestly,
Bingo.
if you're trying to lose weight, it's 80% your diet and 20% exercise.
Right. Right. The exercise is
So,
for quality of life down the road, protecting those
yes,
heart, protecting your heart, protecting your bones, and protecting your muscles.
right.
And, the weight loss, like you said, it happens with the food choices that we make.
Hmm.
Which when you look at how many you make in a day, right?
Right.
Then you start to see, oh wow. Oh
Yeah,
wow.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've posted on social media occasionally some interesting factoids about that whole um, working out to lose weight.
Yeah.
And one of them, I remember it was in order to burn one M&M, not one pack of M&Ms, one single M&M candy,
Yeah.
you have to run the length of a football field.
Oh.
So if you're trying to offset
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
that you eat in a day,
Uh-huh. Yeah. You better leave half your day for exercise.
exactly.
Good luck with that. Let me know how that works out for you.
Yeah. Yeah. If that does work,
Oh,
you let me know, right?
yeah. Yeah. Oh, one of my least favorite things that I see during Halloween is when there's the graphic of the candy on one side and and then it's like run whatever,
Oh, yeah.
and it's just it's telling people like almost like in order to earn this candy, you have to do this first.
Right.
And it just, I'm like, no, we're not earning anything. We're not earning our food. We're not exercising to earn our food.
Right. Right. Exactly.
So
No.
let's not put the two in the same sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen those
Yeah.
definitely every year
Yeah.
they get
Yeah. It's
dusted
usually
off.
at Halloween or I've been in group classes where the instructor says, okay, who's ready to burn off that dessert you had over the weekend?
Oh, yes.
And no, no,
Sorry.
not why I'm here.
Got some bad news for you.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, and the other thing is, like you often see women on an elliptical at the gym or on a treadmill at the gym, and then, they are looking at that calorie counter, whether it's on their wearable that they have on their
Mm,
wrist or it's on the
right.
machine itself. And you just think, do you know how inaccurate both of those are? I mean,
Oh
even
my
the
God.
ones that you wear, whatever you wear, it's not correct. I hate to break it to you, babe, but it's wrong. It's
Yeah,
wrong.
it is. But again, everybody is so wrapped up in numbers and wanting to
Yes,
see,
yes,
yeah, that's how we measure, right?
right.
Our
And data
success.
is
And
good, and we do need data, but
absolutely.
that is not a good form of data to rely on.
Right. No, it's not for sure.
Because
So
it's just wrong.
it is. It
Yeah,
is.
yeah. I
And I'm
mean,
so mad because my Apple Watch, like the three main things that it calculates for me that it shows all the time,
mhm.
one of them is a calories burned.
Oh,
I don't want to see it, but I cannot figure out for the life of
yeah, I don't know
me
how to take it off.
how to get rid of it. It's
Yeah,
like, I don't care about that one. That tells me nothing.
I know. Yeah, I did. Okay, thanks.
Like,
Thanks
great,
for
I
your
closed
made
that
up
circle
number of the
today.
day.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy, but
Hmm.
people rely on it. The other problem with that is they are relying on they're checking that number and then they're going to their total calories, and that's what they end up eating those calories back. And so then they wonder, well, why, I
Right.
burned this many, my workout said I burned this many calories and shouldn't
Hmm.
I be able to eat this many now? And, they wonder why they're struggling.
Yeah,
Both
exactly.
of those
Yes.
numbers are off, so you shouldn't be following either one of them.
No, you really shouldn't. Well, and the whole thing about with the calories, I mean, even especially like the packaged foods where you
Yeah. Oh,
have the
yeah.
calories and all the
Hmm.
numbers on the box,
Right.
those numbers can be up to 30% wrong too.
Yes. Yes.
So that's a huge error rate.
Yes. I mean, think about that in another sense, I mean, if I went to
Mhm.
fill my car with gas and it's, and I needed, I'm 30% off. Now I can't
Yeah,
make it to my destination, right?
exactly. Because you need that full tank. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
Yeah.
many falsehoods. And if, again, our bodies know it they need, and if we would just listen to our bodies more and tune in
Right.
more
Right.
to them, we'd all be better off.
Right. Right. Because I mean, when it comes down to it, eh, you know, a lot of what is put in foods is to make you want it some more and want it again.
Hmm.
So when we're
Yes,
looking at any of these packaged foods, they are created to make you come back for more. That's
hmm,
that's it.
absolutely right.
So, it's important that we're taking that, we're looking at labels. And
Hmm.
obviously there are times, yes, when you're going to have to go and, you know, have something that's processed. We're not,
Sure.
it happens, right?
Right.
It's let's be realistic about it, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I try to live by an 80/20 rule.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, if I'm feel like I'm mostly doing the right things
Hmm.
80% of the time, I think I'm doing pretty good.
Right.
And, sometimes either because of the need for convenience, or I'll be quite honest, every once in a while, I just want an ice cream
Yeah.
in a waffle cone
Right. And that's
because it's
normal.
summer and that's what summer's about.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. And I think we need to normalize that too,
yeah,
because that's called normalcy. That's called living, right?
it is.
And that's important as well. So it's about finding that balance between those two areas. And but recognizing, that maybe if you are having something, but you're having it and it's, not necessarily very uh, nutritious, that geez,
Mhm.
maybe I should, instead of having that 7 days a week, maybe I can cut back to 4 days a week. And then
Right,
once I do that, maybe I can cut back just a little bit more. And can I get it down to 2 days a week?
right.
You
So that it
know,
really is a special treat
right,
and you
right.
enjoy it even more, and make sure
Yeah,
you enjoy it. I mean,
yeah,
how many times have you blindly eaten something while you're doing something else and like you hardly even remember eating
right,
whatever that item was, whether it was a healthy or a not so healthy
right.
item.
Yeah,
So if you're going to take the time and eat something because you really, really want it and you've been
hmm,
really craving it, make sure you enjoy every bite of it.
yep.
Um,
Yeah, be present,
and then you'll probably be fine. And then you're like,
right.
okay, that was great. I enjoyed it. I don't need to have that again for a while.
Hmm. Hmm. Although you might also find that when you do that, that, geez, I don't feel so good after I eat this anymore. And you
Right.
notice the difference between feeling good and not feeling good, because so often we're just kind of stuck in that not feeling good and don't even realize that there's an other side to it. And if we
That is
just took
so
this one
true.
thing out, wow, I feel really good. Took that, I haven't had whatever it is. I've been feeling really great lately. And then you have it and you're like, oh, I don't feel so good.
Hmm. Right. And now all of a
So
sudden you correlate. And it's like,
yeah,
oh, that's why.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All right, Kat, thank you. We are going to do a part
Thank
two,
you. I'm
because I know
excited. I
that
can't wait.
we have a lot that we can go into.
Yes, fortunately or unfortunately, I'm not sure which, but yes, there's so much more to talk about.
Yeah, yeah. If the listeners want to find you, where can they find more information on you and your business?
So the first place they can go is to my website, and that is catdwellness.com.
Mhm.
They can, from that site, they can book a discovery call with me, which is just really a free chat to talk about whatever concerns they have and whether working with me might make sense. All of my various program offerings are out there.
Okay.
A little bit of just information about me overall, as well as some blog posts that I've put out there as well. So that's one place. You can also find me on Facebook. You can find me personally as Cat Donofrio. And I also have my business page, which is Cat D Wellness Coaching. And you can find me on Instagram. Probably more. I probably spend more time on Facebook than Instagram, but those two are probably my two top.
Okay.
And then a little bit on TikTok as well as LinkedIn.
Wonderful. Great. Well, Kat, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed it.
This was wonderful. And thank you for listening to the Fit News Podcast. We will catch you next time.